Alright, hello everyone. This video is going to be a 7 on Sunday video. A 7 on Sunday was created by G Swizzle. I'll link her video down below when I can. And today's topic is 7 books that you can't stop thinking of. Basically, your Roman Empire books. So I was thinking about this, and basically the reasons why I would keep thinking about these books is because they're well written, because there's always something coming up new that people are discovering with characters. Maybe I use it as inspiration for my own writing, or I think from time to time that it could possibly make a good movie or a show if they don't ruin it. So here are 7 books or series that I am constantly thinking about. This is in no particular order, okay? So, I guess I'll go through 1 through 7. Like I said, I'm not ranking these, so these are just random off the top of my head. I think about a lot of books, but these might be more than most. So, I have to go with Zombies vs. Unicorns. It is a short story collection where the stories feature either zombies or unicorns, and I just love the twist that people put on it from, different authors and everything, and they all put their own unique spin on that creature, or whatever you want to call it. And it's one of the things that I look for or look to as inspiration, when I'm writing short stories that are like more of the fantasy or like surreal genre type thing. But yeah, it's been one of my favorites for a long time. A recent one that I'm still finishing the series, but I thought it was a very unique concept. Sometimes I forget what happens from book to book, and again, this is the first time I'm reading this series. But I like the characters. I think this would make a really nice TV show, especially if they can expand on things. And when I say expand on things, I'm always including the author to help write this stuff, right? But this is a 4-book series, and I think it's 4 books and one novella kind of thing, right? And I'm on book 4 right now, and that is 3 Dark Crimes, which is a fantasy series. It's set on an island where people worship this goddess. She's never really named, so nothing specific. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they mentioned Beltane and stuff like that, which, if I remember correctly, is a Celtic festival. From my time learning about things like Wicca and stuff. Wicca mixes up a lot of things, so. But, yeah, they worship this goddess, and, I want to say every so many years, every generation, whatever you want to call it, a queen gives birth to triplets, and they all have, a type of magic. If I remember correctly, well, in the book, the main characters are a poisoner, a naturalist, and an elemental. So one can ingest poison without dying, one can control animals and bloom flowers, and the other has control over the elements. But I believe there's also a war gift and an oracle kind of thing. So there's a couple more, but the main characters are an elemental, a naturalist, and a poisoner. And I really like the characters. I'm listening to the audiobooks for these are really well done. It's kind of dark. I like the sister trope and everything, which is why I like some of the other books that are going to be on here. But yeah, I think it would make a really neat show, honestly. Getting kind of tired of movies because movies cut so much out, and like I said, you can expand so much on TV shows. For number 3, I am going to say The Lovely Bones. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to read anything by this author. I wanted to read The Almost Moon. I never did. But there's controversy about this author. So I don't think I'll be reading Lucky because of the things I found out about that. You know, I think I had a copy of the book somewhere. I had never read it. But The Lovely Bones has just like beautiful, I guess you would call it prose. Like it's one of my, it has one of my favorite like opening scenes. It's just something that really draws you in, and that was like an inspiration to kind of, hook people with like my opening lines for my books, right? Because that's a big thing, right? That really captures the attention of readers is the opening, the first page, and everything. And I just thought it was beautifully written. Number 4, I'm gonna have to go with the Giver Quartet. Now, the thing about it is originally The Giver was a standalone book, and you can read it as a standalone book. And then the author has seen how her second book had like similarities and connected, or could be connected, I guess. And then she wrote the other 2 books years later. Messenger, I think, connects a little bit better with Gathering Blue, which is the second book, and then they all kind of tie together with Sun. The thing about Sun is that the first half is the best, and then it just gets weird after that. But I do like all the books. But I would say The Giver is probably the first dystopian that I read before I knew what that was and everything. And it's a well-written and powerful book, especially for something that's so short, and I think it's classified as like middle grade. I think it's like dystopian slash kind of fantasy-ish type thing. There's like sort of a magic kind of thing within that, so it's definitely a slight bend of genre, which I really enjoy. Number 5, I cannot make a list about books I think about all the time without including the Hunger Games series, trilogy, and prequel. I'm liking the prequel more and more, and I definitely think the first book and the prequel, I mean, they all connect in some way because, the prequel is about Snow, the antagonist of the series. But, well, no, maybe not the first one, because we don't really, except for the movie, we don't really see Snow in the first book. But, like, the society outside of him, I think, is a good comparison, contrasting, from how they are in the capital before Katniss to how they are in the present day trilogy. There you go. Right. I think probably I would say the next 2 books, especially, well, maybe Mockingjay and Catching Fire are kind of the same on that one. That they definitely, no, you know what? Mockingjay more than anything, especially when like Finnick is giving his propos, and you'll know what I'm talking about. And when you read that one line in the beginning of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and what he says about Tigris, right? So that one I think about a lot, that series, because there's just so many layers to it. There's just so many things to discover and piece together and everything and see how it connects. I wasn't a fan of how it connects at the beginning, but it's grown on me now, and I appreciate her cleverness in writing these books. Number 6 is The Shape of Thunder, which is a middle grade book that is about 2 girls who used to be friends, and the reason they're no longer friends revolves around a school shooting and their older siblings. And it talked about like abandonment and, not facing things, about prejudice and stuff like that. It's written as a middle grade book, and it sounds like a middle grade book, but it does have a very heavy topic, and I think the author, at least in my opinion, handled it very well. And you know, that should be like a standard for middle grade books. They shouldn't just give, I mean, it doesn't have to be heavy topics all the time, but what I'm saying is they don't have to dumb things down to make it sound like it is from a young person's perspective, right? So that's what I liked about that one. And another one that I think about quite often, I just read maybe a few years ago, and I think about it because I just love the tone of it. I love the narrator, and it's one of the only books that I've read in that style, because it's vignette style. Like I've read like poetic, like verse, that's what it's called, like books that are written in verse. But The House on Mango Street is well written. It's easy to get through. It's an interesting story. It doesn't really drag, and I think, the whole vignette style made it really unique to listen to and hear about, like, somebody's life and everything. It's just really interesting. So, yep. So that's my 7 on Sunday. Let me know the books you can't stop thinking about.